Welcome to Tangling along with me. Today we are going to make a tile, and for that I took a normal Zentangle tile in white, but you can take a piece of paper instead, just cut it out in around 8.5 centimeters times 8.5 centimeters or 3.5 inches. First of all, we are going to relax in our shoulders, our fingers, the wrists, and we are going to take a deep breath. And we are going to be grateful for the time that we're going to have together. Then I am going to start with a tiny dot in each of my corners. And I am going to connect these dots with a line. Just like that. I think I'm going to make a string here that is like going straight, and then I really don't know exactly what I'm going to do today, so let's just make something of some kind of string here, like that. You don't need to make the exact same string as I did here, but it will be up to you exactly how you're going to make the string. I did draw mine a bit harder on the paper than I usually do. I'm normally doing like this very lightly, because then it will disappear while drawing on here, but the camera does not pick these lines up that easy, so that's why I did the other ones a little more sharp. I am going to use my Micron PN for this. This is the black one, but you can use a other color or another fine liner. That's all up to you. So first I'm going to start with this pattern right here, because I really like that, and I did have a few problems with that while I recorded that the first time, so I am going to try that one out again, and I'm gonna pop that right in to this oblong place that we have right here. And I am starting with the two lines, and I'm going to aura these lines here. Just like that. Now I'm going to make it into my square boxes here, all the way down my line. So they are almost square. And if they're not totally square, it's all fine. Don't worry. Just like that. Then I found sorry about that. Then I find the middle here, and I'm going down and to the side. And again, down and over to the side. And I'm gonna do that in all of my boxes here. Tiny bit down and then to the side. From the middle. Kind of a curly line here. Like that. Then I'm going to make the inside aura on each of these shapes. And mine got a bit wonky, but that's all okay. You won't notice that when you're all done. A line from the center of this inside and down to the middle. So just straight down like that. Then putting an orb in here, coloring that black. And it's around on the middle of the string we made here. And I'm gonna go look at the string here, and I'm putting half an orb on this one because it's to the edge, and then the whole orb on these strings here, again around the middle. There we go. And that is the pattern, but I liked the lines that we made on the other one, so I'm going in here and making these fine lines on one half of this bottom pattern here, or inside pattern. But you could color it in instead if that's better for you. There we are. And I'm just gonna cap this one. And then I have my green Micron 01 right here. This is a light green. I'm going to take that one and turn my tile around. And I'm gonna do this lines over here. Actually, I could make an aura. Nah, let's just make the lines. And I'm only doing that on one side of this pattern. And what I'm doing in one of these squares, I am doing in all of my squares. And again, you could color in this place here if you wanted to. Sorry about that. So I'm just taking my time with this. There we go. I like that. And I really like this pattern right here, so I'm going to try to make that, and I'm thinking about putting it here on this line right here. So it starts with these U-shaped or C-shapes that is connecting, and I am using my Micron PN in black again here. So I'm making these C-shapes along my line here. And again, remember that the strings are just there to guide you. You don't have to work with your strings or see them as a big border, but they're there for guidance. Then I'm making two lines down from the middle of this little C shape. And they are around the same length, all of them. like that. And then we pop in a small triangular shape here at the bottom of these. And you can go and fill them out if you feel like. So you have a tiny black triangular shape here at the bottom of these lines. There we go. And then from the triangular shape we're going to make these C strokes again, so from one to the other. Just like that. And then again we are going to make the two lines from the middle of this one. Pop in this black triangular shape. There we go. And then you can continue, or you could stop right there and then just leave it like that and make something else underneath if you rather want to do that. But I am gonna give it at least one more. And then the black triangular shape. And I'm gonna do it one more time just because I can. And you see I'm over my borderline here, but that's all okay. I don't have room for those two, so I'm just gonna make this one. There we go. Now we can go in and make them look like angels. Actually, I think they look like angels when we're done. So from the point here and down to the triangular shape, we're going to make an arch. And the same from this side, like that. And then we are going to make an orb right here. And if you don't see the angel, then I don't know what. And I'm gonna do this on all of these shapes. So from that point down to the triangular shape, and then the orb is floating over the two lines. And I'm gonna do that on all of these shapes here. And the last one. There we go. I really like this pattern. I think it's really, really cute. It's really easy. I'm going back to my green Micron 01 and I'm thinking about filling out these small body parts here, or the double line. Sorry about that. Just taking my time, making one stroke at a time. And remember to relax in your shoulders and your hands, and don't grip too hard on your pen. I'm just gonna try a thing here. Just gonna make 2 lines down this half moon's half, the half of a half moon. Just making 2 lines from the point here and down to the little body of this little angel figure that we created. And remember what you're doing one place, you're doing in all of these patterns. There we go. You can do it on the other wing as well, but actually I think I like it like this, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I am thinking of doing this pattern right here, somewhere here on this tile, maybe in this room we got here. Let me turn that around. And I'm going back to my Micron PN black for this one. Let me see. So I'm going to make this wavy line like that, and then I'm going to make one over here next to it that is the mirrored side. So when it's out, and when it's going in, it's going in. So I'm starting right here, going in and going out. And again, the opposite. And yeah, I don't have that much room here, but it is in there. Let me turn that a tiny bit. Then here in the bigger ones, we are going to make the 2 lines like that. And in these bigger blobs, or what we call those, I'm going to do that in all of them. And I'm drawing behind as soon as I reach another pattern. Now we can go and give them a little, actually I need another line here, like that. I'm just rounding it off a tiny bit more. And I'm going to color in this band here. And again, I'm coloring behind the other pattern. If I'm reaching the other pattern, then I'm just going behind it. And making sure that I have a nice rounding here where it meets the edge of the pattern. And I'm gonna do that everywhere where I have these 2 lines. rounding off the connection between the two lines, or the lines and this wavy line. Like that. And then up here, there we go, and then this one. And remember to color behind the other patterns here. Like that. And down here as well. There we go. And you can darken up these lines here a tiny bit if you feel like it. So it really is being a drama tangle. I'm just pushing a little harder into the paper with my pen. And that makes the line a tiny bit darker. And the last one here. And you can go over the line a few times, which also would make the line a bit darker. So there we have our drama tangle. There was one more that I wanted to go over one more time. And that was this one right here. I wanted to make it a tiny more bigger than I did in our book. Let me see. I think I'm gonna start from the point here. So it's going into this V shape. Now I'm just doing it upside down. So let me turn it around like that. It's the V shape. And then you are going to make this C shape on top of that. And from one corner to around 1/3 down or 2/3 down the line here, you're going to make a arched line as well. And the same over here. Like that. And then putting in a bead here. In the middle of this one. There we go. And then you can decorate this just like you feel like. I like the one where we have the lines going down, just like we did on the angel wings over here. So I'm just gonna start at the point and going down to the bottom line here, like that. And then on one of them they made a row of small beads following along this top line. I think that's actually pretty funny. And I could do one that goes from the corner there, but that would look kind of weird. I could make as if there was one here behind this one. Going out to the sides and out to the sides, and then the top arch of it, and then the cross lines going over. So this one is quite big here behind everything. Popping in the black pearl or a bead right here. Like that. And I'm going to make the two lines that goes from the point down to the line, so that would be around here. Let's put in these beads here at the top line. There we go. Actually, I think that's pretty funny. I'm thinking of leaving it like that. Maybe making a aura around these, so I'm just gonna follow this line out and then around up here and around. So I could leave it going down here. I think I'm gonna do that. So it's just following and going behind there. This looks like a mess right now, but I think when we are going to get the shadows on, it will look a lot different. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. But I want some green in these two new ones here, so I was thinking about extending those lines down to the point where it starts. Let me try that. So I'm just taking the line here and continuing down to the point here where it all comes from. I actually like that. So I'm gonna do the same over here. Like that. Maybe placing in a tiny fescue here and one on the other side. And of course the same in this one. And from the other side. There we go. I kinda like that. I think I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to take my eraser and I'm just gonna erase this line. Again, if you haven't used that much force on your graphite, it should actually have been kind of disappearing on its own. But I can still see it here and there. And I have a line going right there as well that I don't like. There we go. I like that. Okay, let's do some shading here. Last time I just shaded this on top and on the bottom of it, but actually I think I'm going to go in along this one line here and popping in some graphite. Like that. Taking my Tortillion and softening that out. Yeah, I like that. I really like that. And I think I'm gonna do it here on the inside, again on the side where I don't have the lines. Like this. And then again using my Tortillion to soften it out. And I'm not pushing down with the Tortillion, I'm just letting it slide over the paper. There we go, and I got a tiny bit of my graphite into this ribbon and I don't want it there. There we go. I kind of like that. And I'm gonna go along this line right here with my graphite to kind of make this ribbon here or border kind of lift up from the paper. And again, I just got a tiny bit into that ribbon using my Tortillion. Just softening it out, this line here. And you can always go back with your graphite and put in a little more here if you want it darker. Along the edge here, and I want it to be nicely dark here. And you can go back with your Tortillion and soften that in there. I kind of like that. So in this one down here, I don't really know what to do, but maybe I'm gonna pop in a tiny shadow here under the white wing. Like that, taking my Tortillion again and softening that out. There we go. I actually think that looks pretty neat, so I think I'm going to leave that. In this one here, I am going to make kind of a C shape with my pencil here, so that the C shape goes one way at one end of this hourglass shapes we have, and the C shape on the bottom is another way around. Again, using my Tortillion and soften it out. I'm trying to stay with the shape that I made. Like that. And you might have enough graphite that you can put in the shape of a tiny bead in the side of this little C shape. And if you don't have it, it's all right. Everything is gonna be all right anyway. Like that. I think that looks pretty neat. Then we have this one. So this one is going over this one. So I'm going to make a shadow here where the one is overlaying the other. Again, using my Tortillion to make it into the shadow. So now we can see there is two of these and one is on top of the other. And I'm going back with a tiny bit more of my graphite here to darken the shadow up a little more, because I really want it to be nice, shadowy, dark. And I got a tiny bit in there that I don't want here, so I'm just gonna erase that, even though that we normally don't use the eraser. And I have a feeling like this is folded over the middle, so I like to make a tiny bit of a shadow here around these two lines here, the same on this one. And using my Tortillion to soften that out. Making it look a little more like it's bent over itself. I like that. Then here, this is going under this one, so I'm going to make a nice dark shadow here along this pattern. And again, I'm using my Tortillion to soften it up. There we go. And we can play with some shading here around this outer aura here. I'm not putting too much on here because I don't want it to be way too dark, so I'm just gonna lightly soften out this little shadow here. And I'm just dragging it out on the empty paper here. That. And again, if you have a little you got in here where you don't want it, you can always go and remove it like that. So that is how the tile looks now. This is not the most prettiest I have ever made, and what I wanted to show you with this one is that it doesn't have to be the prettiest work of art that you're doing. The only thing that matters is the way from the white tile to something on it. It's the journey with the different patterns, when you enjoy the patterns, when you take your time with them and you really have fun with it. And then sometimes you will have a tile that is just totally amazing, and sometimes you will have something that is a little underwhelming, but it's still your tile. I'm going to pop in my little chop here like that, and I will write my name and the date on the back side of this one. You can even put in more colors in this one if you think that would be fun, and you can continue working on this one as long as you want to. You can go forth and you can go back. So I'm gonna take my Micron here, the green Micron 01, and I'm going to put in some stripes here in the stripes. And I'm doing it in this first kind of ribbon here. And that's the beauty about these tiles. You can keep on working on them, or you can put it to the side and leave it for a day or two, and then take it forth and look at it and see what you would like to do on it to make it different or better or more interesting or something like that. But you can do exactly what you feel like on this one. You can go in and make small extras on some of the patterns, or you can leave it as it is if you like the result, and it's all up to you and your creativity. And it doesn't have to be neat to be cool, because it's, as I said, all about the journey from the white paper with the tangles on there. So the tangles are what you really like to concentrate about and focus on. And sometimes I can just keep on working on my tiles even though that I really feel that they are done. Then I just think I can do this or I can do that. I think I like that better, so I'm just gonna do it in the other one as well. There we go. Gonna pop the lid on that one. I actually think this is kind of cute. And I'm going back with my green again. I want some orbs here. Just a few orbs. You don't have to do this if you don't like it. I think I want to make it a tiny bit taller here. There we go, I like that. And I could actually make a few orbs floating around. There we go. I think this turned out really neat. I like it. So leave your tiles, even though if you don't like them, leave them be and come back to them another day and do a few more things, maybe some more shading, maybe some more coloring, but you can keep on working on these as long as you feel like. Anyway, that was all for today. Thank you for watching. Have an attitude of gratitude.